Yo, what's good, y'all? Welcome and welcome back to Billy Goat's Prophetic Vessel. It's your girl, Billy Goat, and we got a message for you. Welcome to the channel, to our new subscribers. Welcome to the Soul family. It is so nice to have you here. Now, please know that I don't choose the storyline, the Holy Spirit does. I don't choose the cards that come out, the Holy Spirit does, okay? And all of the readings here are timeless, all right? So whenever you're seeing this, regardless if this reading came out years ago, months ago, weeks ago, days ago, whenever the Holy Spirit feels like you are in a season to be receptive of it, then the Holy Spirit will lead and guide you to it, okay? Or to be a messenger to someone else in His name. If you want to check out your other placements, feel free to visit our collective Zodiac channel, Don Juan Spiritual Guidance. That is linked in the description box, all right? And if you want to book a personal reading, you feel free to do so via DonJuanSpiritualGuidance.com. That is the only way to receive a personal reading from us at this time, okay? And that link is in the description box as well. Now for Halloween, we are having a special, okay? It is October, so feel free to check out the community board for that special, okay? All right, so this is for my Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and North nodes. Please remember to take what resonates and leave the rest behind. This could be past, present, and or future information for you. Holy Spirit, for the person or people that is on Capricorn's mind at the time of watching this video, or a cross watcher, what would they like to say? Like, what they got to say at this time? You know, whether they are in separation, together, but not speaking, whatever. Oh, jealous and envious of you. Why? Why are they jealous and envious of Capricorn? I'm getting tarot readings on you and or the situation at hand. And depending, because clearly you're watching a reading too about this. So it's like, you know, it's the intention. Why are they getting a reading? Is it for them to try to create blockages or spoil something for you? Or is it to actually get guidance that is helpful on the situation at hand? You see how one is more positive and one is strictly negative and invasive? We need to provide a safe and sacred space for each other. So this is could be with the energy that, you know, you didn't feel safe with, or they didn't feel safe with you. Hurting you wasn't my true intentions, and I know this is not an excuse. So what was the intentions then? If this wasn't the intention, what was the intention? I'm transforming into a new version of me, and I told you what you wanted to hear, not what you needed to hear. So, did they not think that that wasn't going to? I don't know what real love is through the past trauma. So this person or people, and I say people because God does not discriminate against love, so we welcome monogamy, poly, LGBTQIA+. All right, this is a safe and sacred space. So for those of you guys that don't like it, you could, you know, just take your gift of free will and fuck on somewhere. All right, keep scrolling. All right, so I blame others for my poor choices. I didn't think about the consequences of my actions. So it's like I lied to you and it's no excuse. Yeah. So they could have felt hurt and upset by you, and no, this doesn't make any excuse. No excuses. But instead of them being vulnerable and talking to you about it and working it out in a way that's healthy and positive and not burning a bridge, they just told you what you wanted to hear and things of that nature. And that could be due to them experiencing trauma and treating you the same way that they were treated. And no, that's not fair. That's projection, and that also has to be healed. I'm afraid that if I tell you the truth, you won't want me. So they know they have to come clean about something with you, you know, unless you know that you have to come clean with them, you know, depending upon what side of the story you're on here. If you're a cross watcher or whatever the case may be, take it how it resonates, leave what doesn't. And again, if you want, a personal reading on your circumstances, you can feel free to do so via the website link that's linked in the description box. Depending upon when you are watching this, it's currently October. There is a love reading sale. All right, check the community board for more details. But if it's not October, then you have to go through the link. You have to go through the website. Okay, that's in the description box for your convenience. I breadcrumb and belittle you for my own insecurities. See, yes, this person's or people's past trauma. See, I don't know what real love is due to past trauma. So they play these games because, when they were a kid, they grew up seeing their parent or caregiver getting with partners that cheated on them, or they cheated on them, or they saw them getting hit, abused, and things of that nature. And so they were like, oh my goodness, well, that must be what love is. It's gotta be what love is, when that's the exact opposite of what love is, right? But when that's all you're seeing, and that's your first, right? Because when a person is born, and that's your parents or your caregivers are your first teachers. And when that's all you're seeing in the environment, that's what you think it is. You think it's the norm, quote unquote, and stuff like that. Unfortunately, but no, that is not what love is. And because somebody didn't heal that, and unfortunately, right, for people that are in those unfortunate circumstances, for the reason why they even think that that's what love is, that's terrible. That is very unfortunate. Okay, and I'm sorry that you had to grow up and see that, or whoever you were dealing with. That is nothing to deal with. That is abuse. And for anybody to have to grow up witnessing that and or experiencing that, that's tragic. And so, yes, of course, healing is needed, but you can't force anybody to heal. They have to want to heal. They have to be the ones to do the reprogramming. They have to flush themselves. They have to talk about it. They can work with a therapist, a life coach, a mentor. They have to receive the tools that the parents didn't provide, or that the caregiver didn't provide, that was healthy and positive, because they didn't take the time to heal. They allowed certain things that they shouldn't have allowed. Right. And of course, nobody's perfect, but you have to have that awareness. You have to take that self-inventory and say, okay, I don't know everything. So let me work on the things that, I feel like are growing edges for me, so that I don't impact anybody else in this way. Right. Because I didn't like it when somebody did it to me. So let me make sure I'm not doing it to somebody else. But no, somebody didn't have that perspective here. And no, it's no excuse. Because no, you are not responsible for the trauma that was caused as a child, but you are responsible for the healing when you are an adult. Yeah, so now somebody feels like a fool because they were being spiteful and vengeful, whether this is you or whoever you were dealing with here. And it's like now they're kicking themselves. It's like, dang, I want to hang out and chill with them, but it's like now they don't want shit to do with me because of how I treated them. And it's like, I don't blame them. But also at the same time, this was forcing them or you to look at like, well, how did we get here? Well, I treated them like this. I treated them like that, right? It's forcing somebody now to take self-inventory because it's like somebody doesn't have the same access to you anymore, or you don't. Depending upon what side of the story you're on here. Yeah, for a lot of you guys. For a lot of you guys, this is a soulmate, soul connection. Your soul signed a soul contract to teach each other these lessons, right? As a 5D perspective. I was being arrogant and needed to be humbled. Yeah, so the Holy Spirit is like really humbling this, whatever energy. Okay, put yourself on the side of the story as you see fit here. Humbling them. Karma's humbling them. Like, how dare you be spiteful and vengeful to this energy that I put in your life to help you. My ego is masking how I truly feel and who I am. Yeah, because somebody's being too prideful. So it's like they feel like you are the one for them, but because of how they treated you and because of the lack of accountability that they see, I kept looking for greener grass. Everything that glittered was not gold. So it's like now it's like they feel embarrassed because it's like, dang, You're the one for me. I knew you were the one for me, but I kept searching for greener grass. I thought I could find better. And I actually ended up shooting myself in the foot because you are that better. But I didn't treat you as such. Because, you know, like I breadcrumbed you. I did, you know, unthinkable things, whatever the case may be, and instead of working with you, I was jealous and envious of you, right? And I was being spiteful and vengeful to you because I was jealous and envious of you, you know, and I feel like a fool about it because now it's like, I want you back because you're the one for me. But now I got to tell you how I sat up here and treated you like you wasn't the best thing since sliced bread. You know, like somebody has to swallow their pride or they're going to miss out on the best love of their life. Depending upon what side of the story that you're on here. But somebody had some lessons to learn. It's almost like you would not want to be with this energy until they learned this lesson anyway. It just sucked that this was a lesson that they had to learn due to this past trauma. And no, it's not an excuse because somebody could have at least used respect. Like, I get that your past was so bad because that is a truth. There are people that until a certain age, they didn't experience any kind of nurturing, any kind of real love, right? Unfortunately. So I get that may be, you know, people do have to understand common sense is not common for everybody because of people's fucked up upbringings. Okay? Unfortunately. And I do pray that things get better. Until then, you know, you do have to look at certain things as such. This is why you have to set boundaries and not continue to allow certain things for some people, and for others, if you don't know what real love is, if you don't know, you know, a lot of things because of having a very traumatic upbringing, at least use respect. And if you wouldn't want somebody to do certain things to you, or you didn't like when certain people did certain things to you, take what you do know and apply it. Okay, let me not do that to them because I didn't like it when it happened to me. You know, somebody had to, this is why one of the soul contracts here, from a 5D perspective and above here, your souls were supposed to teach each other these lessons. How much is somebody going to allow? And are you going to learn how to value and appreciate someone when you have them? And look at them as being the green grass and taking them, you know, as the gift that they are and as the blessing that they are, and not feeling like you have to continuously search. You know, can you appreciate a gift when it's in your face? Can you recognize a gift when it's in your face? Can you recognize a blessing when it's in your face versus a wolf in sheep's clothing? Right? I'm hearing, what are you willing to do? I know I failed you and let you down big time. All those secrets I kept caught up with me, each and every last one of them. Yeah, so they, you know, they was hiding a lot of secrets. I should have listened to my intuition, you know, but it's like somebody was very lust driven, and because they didn't know what real love was due to their trauma, they mistaken lust for love. But had they still been honest, they could have at least, like, a lot of damage wouldn't have been as done. Like, not that you wouldn't have been hurt or they wouldn't have been hurt, depending upon what side of the story you're on. I'm hearing like the bridge would have at least still been like somewhat intact, right? You know, because trust still would have been there. Like, no, you may not have liked the truth, but at least you still would have had honesty, right? You know, because if you don't have trust, you don't have anything in any connection, whether that's love, entrepreneur partnership, or whatever the case may be. It's very important. Because you got to trust that the person going to do what they say they're going to do. You got reliability, dependability, right? Loyalty. Of course, you know. I regret my past mistakes and wish I can have another chance with you. I carry guilt for the way I mistreated you. Yeah. And now because they feel like a fool. That's like, dang, you know, I really want to marry this person, but like I breadcrumbed this person so bad. I treated this person so bad. Like I'm in the wrong. Like how can, I don't want to say that, but I really want them now. Like that's what I'm getting as a channel message. Well, I want to look at this. I want to fight for this connection, but I just don't know how. I seek the strength and courage. Because it's like, how do you approach somebody and say, hey, you're the person that God created for me, and I mistreated you so bad. But it's like, you can't really, like, yeah, your trauma. Also at the same time, like, if you was able to respect other people in a way where you didn't treat them like shit, you couldn't have extended that same hand to this dynamic here, you know? It's like, no. Say that shit for the birds. I feel ashamed for how I treated you. You did not deserve that. It's another reading. Y'all check that out. It's another reading. Yeah. They know. Allow me to work on me so I can work on us. I am damaged and not deserving of your love. So, because they feel like they have so much trauma. And again, I'm not denying that, you know. Well, but also at the same time, this person could have at least used what they did know to the best of their advantage in a way that was healthy and positive, if they truly really cared, right? Like, when you really care for somebody, you're not going to purposely put yourself in a position to lose them. You're not going to purposely put yourself in positions to, you know, like, of course, every connection is going to go through their ebbs and flows, but it shouldn't have to be to the point where it's abusive. It shouldn't have to be the point where it's burning bridges every time. Like, it shouldn't, right? Like, that's an issue. But again, if a person never saw or experienced a healthy connection, see, this is why healing is so important. Okay? That's a lot. This is a lot. I hope we can come back together and pick up where we left off. But it's like, nobody wants to put up with this shit. This is why materialistic objects only go so far in the connection. This is why you have to pay attention to what is more than what's in somebody's pockets. Don't get me wrong. I understand, you know, you want a provider, or you want to make sure that at least things 50-50 or whatever the case may be, whatever you want. That's fine and dandy. Make sure, okay, that they got that and a good heart posture. They're not just talking. They actually walking and talking, and not just here and there, consistently. Okay? Like, people need to look for other things more than just assets, because anybody can be at any given season where God is teaching you a lesson, or you go through an unfortunate circumstance where you lose everything or close to. If you have somebody that's only with you for what you got, you don't really have anybody. That's not a person of substance. That's not solid. That's not loyalty. That's flakiness. If you want something of substance, you want somebody that's there for you and your heart posture, meaning they're going to be down for you through thick and thin, whether you have $1 trillion to your name or $0 with holes in your pockets, holes in your shirts, right? But you got a heart of gold. But you willing to help out where you can. You willing to reciprocate what you got. You intelligent. You got a lot of wisdom and you apply it. That's worth way more than any outside asset that anybody can have that can be taken away like that. But you can't take away what is inside of a person. Never. And I have to learn that too. Still learning. Still got to be reminded at times, right? So when people pay attention to the wrong thing, you know, if you're not looking for anything serious, you're just doing something for play, You know, that may not mean that much to you, but you still want somebody that at least cares about you and what you do in your body and your mind and so on and so forth. They're not going to just treat you like a toy. But if you want something serious, then you want somebody of substance. Don't just pay attention to what somebody has, honey. Because it can be you at any given time. Meaning you can be in a season where you lose everything. You can be going through a season where God is testing your connection. Okay. How you gonna treat this person if they ain't got what they had when you first met them? How you gonna treat this person if, you know, they gain some weight? How you gonna treat this person if, you know, they sick? I'm gonna bring them out of this. Well, I want to see something. You know, I'm trying to see something. You know, how some people say enemies. You know how some people say in those memes, like, I'm trying to see something. Or I'm asking for a friend. Right? You know, so people but they wonder why their connection's so flimsy when it can barely stand a whiff of wind. You know, like, did you get with the person for what they had, or did you get with the person because they treated you well? Right? When a conflict came, they wanted to work it. They wanted to work it out. They wanted to calm down first, but they wanted to work it out, right? They desire to be respectful. They don't just desire you. They desire the journey as well, knowing that every day isn't going to be rainbows, gumdrops, and sunshines, right? Or did you get with the person because they was able to make a band in about 2 hours? Right? They was able to give you a brick, right? Did you get with the person? It's like, what was your why? What was the connection? What's the connection built off of? Same thing for polys too. Because even if you have, listen, because even if you have, there's multiple different types of poly connections. There's actual names, look them up, okay? And so it's like, if you're in connections where you're dating outside of the community that you're in, it's like you all still have to have a level of trust. People got to be clean. People got to be, these are still people's lives here, and it's valuable. You can't play with that. You still have to have a level of seriousness and, a level of care. Right? You still have to have God in these connections and things of that nature. A lot of people's content of characters matter. People don't pay attention to people's content of characters. They only pay attention to what people got. And this is what gets a lot of people's unions fucked up. They get with people for the wrong reasons. And they wondering why their connections is flimsy. It's not that your connection ain't going to go through something. It depending upon what you guys are going to do to make it last. Interest only goes so far. And yes, because especially if you get married, you're going to change into kind of like a different person every about, 10 years or so, right? Constantly evolving and growing. You got to be willing and desiring to go through those journeys. Right? Somebody wasn't prepared for all of that, even if they seemed like it. I'm hearing somebody, because they didn't see and know this does not condone anything. This might bring closure for some of you, is what I just heard. Because this person had never seen, or people had never seen, a healthy connection, they weren't able to provide okay, thank you, Holy Spirit. We need to provide a safe and sacred space. They weren't able to provide that because they couldn't even provide that for themselves, because they didn't know what that looked like. Because unfortunately, they never experienced that themselves. And no, I'm not trying to take up for this energy. No, I'm not trying to condone, because no form of mistreatment is condoned. Okay, but it's like somebody couldn't love somebody properly. Somebody couldn't give somebody unconditional God love because they didn't get that nurturing. They didn't, unfortunately, the parent or the caregiver or the foster system, whatever, did not give it to whoever you were with. Okay, whether this was, and love just goes past romantic, family wise too, or friend wise. For some of you guys, this is you. Put yourself on the side of the story where you see fit. This is actually pretty sad. But for both parties too, because it's like somebody had to experience somebody's trauma on the other end, somebody's abuse. Just know whatever you experience, that's what that person experienced growing up, and no, it's no excuse, because again, you're not responsible for the trauma that was caused as a child, but you are responsible for your healing as an adult. But you can't force someone to heal. They gotta want to do that on their own. They do want to come back. They feel like I missed out on something so good. The next person you allow into your life is lucky, and I'm feeling emotionally void without you. So, you know, yeah. It's like now that they realize how much, again, they don't know how to, I'm hearing they don't know how to come back because they're so embarrassed. Like, I treated the love of my life like the bottom of my shoe. How do I rectify this? You know, and I'm hearing for a lot of you guys, romantic wise, this was your spiritual divine counterpart. So I don't know how you feel about that. So I'm just a messenger. Okay. So that was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope it was some sort of guidance for you. Please check out the other readings if you want to. Again, if you want to check out your other placements, you can visit our collective zodiac channel, Don Juan Spiritual Guidance. That is linked in the description box. Those readings are timeless as well. Okay. Please have a great rest of your day. All right. And always remember, you make your own decisions. Peace out. Deuces.